right, Uncle Sam FM here, picking up my game right at the end of the preseason, getting ready to play my first game here with the reboot version of my MLS game. I was not able to add any players. My squad is pretty much as it is in real life right now for the Dynamo. I did send one player out on loan, and um, it was Eric Bird, who was not going to play this year. So I sent him on. So I've got do have a spot open, but I'm probably not going to use it. The reality is that in the first season in MLS, unless you're one of the clubs playing in other competitions, that you're not going to have a great need. And in fact, in my file, I've got the Champions League set up like it is in real life, so there won't be anybody competing in it the first season. Because in real life, in MLS, the fall part of Champions League is gone, and so now the MLS clubs enter right into the final 16 knockout stage, which is in the spring. So um, won't have too much fixture congestion issues. And so the reality is, like, you go to my registration, I have 28 players registered, and I think actually it's 29 because Senderos is injured. He'll be out for a little while. So that's a lot of guys to have when you're not going to have a lot of, well, when you're not competing in on multiple fronts. I will have the U.S. Open Cup, but and I do try to win that, and I'll kind of show you again sort of what I do to make that happen. But for the most part, I won't have to worry about I won't have to worry about being overly deep. So probably what I'll end up doing is sending more guys out on loan as we get closer to the end of the season, and sending them off to RGV, my USL club. And so this right here is my first team. It's actually my actual first team. I have Tomas Martinez starting as my attacking center mid, but he's injured. So I've had to put in Luis Gil to start the season at that center mid spot, and that's going to hurt a little bit because he's nowhere near Martinez's level. Martinez should be coming back in a week or two? Well, 2 days. So hopefully by the second match he'll be ready to roll. I will just take you through real quick. So we'll look at my first 11. So this is my first 11. This is my ideal squad. I save my selections this way so that I can quickly set up the teams, the guys that I want to be on the field. And this is my top-notch squad. 1 to 11, these are my best players. And then I do have a second 11, and this is when I want to give the starting 11 a break. I have as many of them off the team as I can. A lot of those starting 11 guys are not only are they not starting, but they're not even on the bench. So this way this helps me to get guys who, well, helps me to keep my squad happy, as that's a big challenge in Football Manager, and also gives guys experience, helps younger guys get in. And so I do, as I said, also I do try to win the Open Cup. So what I do is I start with my domestic 11. So these are the best domestic players that I have. The U.S. Open Cup only allows 5 foreign players. So I get the best 18 domestic players I have, put them in this squad, and then that helps me to figure out the best 5 international players to have on that Open Cup squad. So you can look and see, well, what I'll do is I'll first of all look at gaps. Where in the 11 are there severe weaknesses? And the truth is, it's not terrible, really. So I guess my 11 here is not terrible. So what that allows me to do is to just go find the best 5. The best 5 international players that I have, and put them in. And so after creating my domestic 11, I get my best 5 in, and I save a selection for my U.S. Open Cup squad. So this is the best U.S. Open Cup squad that I can put on the field. Gives me, the meets all the requirements. I have no more than 5 internationals on the squad at all, and then the rest obviously are domestic players. And so what I'll do is going as I go into an Open Cup week, if I have a weekend game the week before, the 2 or 3 days before, I will sub all these guys out. These guys will sit out so that they can be fresh for the Open Cup, and I do try to win it. Now the first round, I might not play my Open Cup squad. Well, the first round that the MLS clubs enter into, which is usually the fourth round or so. So in the fourth round, I might play a weekend squad for that because it's usually either a USL team or a lower division team. So I don't have to trot out my best 11. That allows me to try to win the match the week, the Saturday before an Open Cup match. But if I'm playing against another MLS squad in the Open Cup, then this is the team that I'll try and put out there, barring injury, of course. And then I have a youth 11 for when I want to, get my young guys in, get them a run out. I usually don't use this unless it's toward the end of the year and I've already kind of secured my playoff spot and I can't really gain or lose anything. I'll trot out my youth 11 to try and, get them some experience, help them develop. All right, so, but we will go back to my first 11 here. Again, Tomas is injured. Technically I could run him out there, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to pull him out and put in Malky. And I'm now just going to head right in. We open the season with the Sounders. And as you can tell, Beasley and Manotas have already kind of worked out a good partnership. And then Cabezas and Sarin are also working well together. And Martinez's injury kind of hurts a little bit there. Again, Gil is not anywhere near Martinez's level. So that might hurt me in the attack. But let's go out there and see what happens. And I'm having to be a little quiet because, I have guests at the house, so I'm trying not to be too loud. We just tell them to go out there and enjoy themselves. And here we go. I'm going to start with my counter, but the truth is it's a home game, so that's actually probably right. I may have to lower it to defense. And it does look like Seattle. You can see their fullbacks are pushed up, so I think I will go ahead and set it on defend and then adjust from there if I need to. Note this to Leonardo. I guess I'm when you look at the free kick, but well wide. It is good that the Dynamo acquired Gil in real life with this injury to Martinez. I do have Eric Alexander who could have filled that role probably pretty well. But Gil's one of those American players who, when he remember Real Salt Lake brought him up, and he was very young, like 17, 18, and he was he was well thought of. He was a pretty big prospect, but he just really hasn't panned out super well. He's the Dynamo have loaned him from Querétaro in Mexico. Ooh, crossing the box, that's bad. I think I'm right to be in defend. But, well, you know what, let's try counter. I do only have 2 attacking roles, so so yeah, Gil is at Querétaro, Mexico, and he kind of became one of these players in MLS where when you hit a certain age, it's kind of this no man's land for MLS, for domestic MLS players, because he wasn't good enough to justify a designated player contract. There's another shot. Let's go back to defensive. Wasn't good enough to get a big contract. And so MLS clubs, because of the salary cap, a nice counter here. Oh, Kyoto finished that. Um, yeah, so he wasn't good enough to earn that the big contract. So in MLS, you can't really afford to give, you know, I don't know, mediocre is not the right word, but he kind of, there's like this zone here where MLS players can't, or MLS clubs can't give players in this zone a contract that they deserve most of the time. Um, it's getting better in that area, but Gil kind of found himself in that no man's land, and so he ended up in Mexico, where Cortaro was willing to pay him that amount that he was looking for, and so now we were able to loan him in. Seattle's a very good team. This is, yeah, it's not going to go well probably. Let me go to counter. I don't care. I saw it. I'm one of those. I don't like watching the other team's replays. Saren to Gill. Gill drops it. Gill at the Beasley. And Beasley dispossessed. Seattle on the counter. This is bad. Okay, so this is not going well at all. I'm going to try and go standard and see if... Try and push it up a little bit. Seems like this is how my last game started. Seattle went up 2-0. But I came back and won, I think, as I recall. Well, let's kind of try and light a fire. Really not terrible. Dominating possession. The shots are close. I even have more chances. Like I have 3.5 and they have 2. So let's tell them they were unlucky. That seemed to go over well. So let's see if we can get out there and make something happen here. Beasley intercepts a pass, lays it off for Menottes, Gill to Elise, and there we go. We had to have that. We had to have that right out the break. Right off the kickoff. I'll take that. Menottes to Gill, who finds Elise right in dead center, and Elise slots it home. And we are back in it. Alright, let's keep it pushing. That seemed like a hopeful ball there, Sights. Boniek wins it, finds Elise. Ooh, Elise with a nice layoff for Gill, who puts it over. Alright, let's put something together here. Let's get some possession. I don't think my team is functioning super well yet with the tactic. Gill with the finish. Gill is probably going to get subbed. He's not having an awful game. I mean, he does have the assist. But I don't want to sub one of my guys who has a good partnership. So I'm going to try and leave Beasley, leave Menottes. I got to find somebody who can finish. Alright, Size tried to give it away with that pass to Leonardo. Crossing the box, Aaron. Oh, finish it, yes! And we're level. We are level. Menottes, I think, finished that. Cross to Elise. Yep. Menottes with the rebound. Look what I found. And we are tied. Right, Who can I bring in? Cabezas is kind of getting worn down. I do want to try to win this. This is a home match. I really want to try and get all my points at home. Tell you what, let's bring in Alexander for Cabezas and then move him into the midfield. Okay. Then we are at the 80th minute. Arturo Alvarez. I'm going to bring him in for Kyoto. Some fresh legs up front. Maybe he can finish me a goal here. We can steal these 3 points. Gil to release. Ah, guess they called offside there. Okay, now Seattle's gone all out, so I'm going to go back to defensive. And maybe contain if they... Save by Fry. Good save. Come on, give me a goal. Let's get this win. Let's get these points. And I'm just going to sub Leonardo. I'm going to mess around with it. Oh, I used my last sub. Okay. Well, then I'm going to tell Leonardo to tackle easy. So do not want to give up a red card in the last 5 minutes. No. Play. Alright, give me that ball. Give me that ball. Alright, De La Garza. To Alvarez. And Elise in the middle. Need somebody to make some runs. That's probably not what... Ooh, give us a free corner kick. That would be an awesome way to win. Gil puts it in. Notice. Tessarian, Alexander, Leonardo. Get rid of it. Gil, what do you... Come on, man. Well, it looks like we're going to get a draw. I'll take it. Not a great result, but after giving up 2 goals right before the half, to come out and oh. Yeah, it's a fight our way back in, get a point, and as we learn each other, learn the system, I'll take it. There's to Elise, and there it is. Okay, so 1 point. I'll tell them they've done brilliantly to get a draw, which they they did do. Shouldn't have given up 2 goals. But Seattle's a good team. They're really good. We'll go look at them here in a second. Just told the players to believe in themselves. I always do. Goals change everything. Simply faultless. And I try to praise at least one player each game. Keep my player interaction up. Okay. So let's look at Seattle's team and we can see what they're... Well, we'll look at our team first. So my lowest rating, I do have 1 2.5 star because of the Tomas injury. Who knows what would have happened had I had Martinez, but I don't, and so that's my team. Looking at Seattle, yeah. See, as you can tell, just overall much better. I mean, Ladero, their DP, he is top notch for an MLS player. Osvaldo Alonso is a brutal ball winner, very physical, and he's got a motor. He's just the whole game. And then you got Dempsey, of course, probably one of the top 5 American players to ever play. So they're loaded front to back. So to get a point, would rather have had the win, but we'll we'll take the point and go home. Next match, looking ahead, I've got Columbus at home. That's one we really need to win. Columbus is not near as good as Seattle. I mean, truth is, in MLS, all the clubs are pretty close. You know, it's not like Real Madrid in Spain where it's where there's such a gap between the top of the table and the bottom. It's a lot narrower. But Columbus is one of the teams one of the teams you have to win against when you play them, especially at home. You can't drop points to the Columbuses, well, to the Minnesotas. But I mean, the reality is that you can to all of those teams. You're not far and away better than. I mean, if you're Barcelona and you're playing one of the bottom of the table teams, you can go in pretty confident that you're going to get out with a result. But MLS, every match is, they're all, the competitive balance is strong in MLS. So that is this game. I'll close that there, and I might, maybe when we get down to the Open Cup, I'll put up another video. So this is Uncle Sam. Subscribe if you have any questions. Please put them in the comments. Any suggestions also, and I will see you next time.